Stay home, stay safe is the caption we listen from everybody nowadays. So I stay at my home and you stay at your home. Birds live in nests, lions live in dens, and all the living beings have their own homes. But is there any home common for all of us? For human beings, for animals, for birds, and for all other living beings? Yes, it is none other than our earth. Earth gives everything that is needed for every living creature, and so with love we call our earth as Mother Earth. Our today's topic is dynamics of the earth. So many children have many questions in their hearts from childhood, like how did earth evolve? Why do days and nights occur? Why do seasons change? What is inside the earth? How does a volcano erupt? What happens? What causes earthquake? And many such questions. Today in our session, all those children are going to get answers for their questions in this 1 hour. Not just that, we are going to discuss many things about the Mother Earth. Let's begin. As soon as we listen to the word earth, the picture we get in our mind is a landform. What is a landform? Landform is defined by its size, shape, location, and what it is made of. So you can see the 3 types of landforms displayed on the screen here. Though there are many forms of land, broadly they are categorized into 3: mountains, plateaus, and plains. So mountains are the highly elevated lands with steep slope and sometimes sharp or rounded peak. The 3 kinds of mountains are folded mountains, block mountains, and volcanic mountains. Folded mountains are the mountains which formed because of compressional forces acting on them, and they buckle and fold during their formation. And so the name folded mountains. The second classification is of block mountains. Block mountains are the mountains which are displayed vertically after some tectonic activity. They look as a block, and so they are named as block mountains. The third category is volcanic mountains. A mountain that is formed because of volcanic activity is called volcanic mountain. Now coming to plateaus. What are plateaus? Plateaus are relatively higher level lands which are flat and table-like structured. That's why we often call them tablelands. So plateaus are of mainly 4 kinds: intermontane plateau, volcanic plateau, Piedmont plateau, and continental plateau. Intermontane plateau is the plateau which is usually surrounded by many mountains, and volcanic plateaus are the plateaus which are again formed because of volcanic activity. Volcanic activity is nothing but the magma, the fluid rock material which bubbles inside a mountain due to high temperature and pressure and gets erupted when the pressure is at its peak. So with such activity, the plateau formed is known as volcanic plateau. And Piedmont plateau. Piedmont plateau is the plateau which is located at the foot of the hills. Here there is an interesting point. Many times people get a question in their mind, what is the difference between a hill and a mountain when both are elevated lands? It's a quite reasonable question. Hill is an elevated structure, the height of which is around or below 600 meter, whereas mountain is the elevated land, the height of which is above 600 meter. I think it is clear. Now coming to 4th type of plateau, it is continental plateau. Continental plateau is nothing but which has cleared all the structures around it, making it a plain one, and usually it is away from mountains. The third landform you can see on the screen is plain. Plains are flat lands. Usually they contain fertile soil in them. The 3 main kinds of plains are depositional plains, erosional plains, and structural plains. Depositional plains are the plains which are formed because of deposition activity. That means the land, silt, minerals, and many other things are carried away from long places and are put down in a particular surface. So such plains are called depositional plains. Erosional plains, the sand, silt, or whatever material that forms plains, it is carried out from one place to another as we were discussing. So the place from where the erosion took place, the denudation took place, so that plain is called erosional plane. And the third one is structural plane. This is a plane which is structured originally in the form of a plane. That means not much deposition or erosion is takes place in that particular plane. So these are the three landforms: mountains, plateaus and plains. I am sure you would like to look at the pictures of those. So this is the beautiful picture of the mountain, which has steep slopes sometimes, rounded peaks sometimes and sharp peaks sometimes. So this is the picture of a plateau, which is fairly high leveled table-topped land. And this is the picture of a plain. See, wow, how beautiful, how green it's looking. As I was mentioning, it mostly consists of alluvial soil or any other fertile soil. Let's move on to the next subtopic, that is domains of the earth. Please look at the picture. There are number of activities going on there. See, plane is flying and the bus is moving on the road, farming is going on here and many other activities. So all these activities are highly common around us, which happen around us, which we look at every day. So all these activities are happening in different areas, please note. So these areas are called domains. The word domain stands for a larger area. The main four domains of the earth are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. The names of all these have been derived from the language Greek, and the root words are lithos, hydros, bios and atmos. The word lithos means land, the word hydros means water, the word bios means life and the word atmos means air. So lithosphere, as the name suggests, it is the area of land, hydrosphere is the area of water, atmosphere is the area of air and biosphere, we have to wait here because biosphere is not constrained to a particular region. Biosphere is the whole zone of life which exists in all the three, on land, inside the water, even inside the air. That's why we need to define biosphere as narrow zone of contact of air, water and land that supports life. Let's see the lithosphere on the surface of the earth. You can see here colored mountains, beautifully colored continents here. So this red one is Asia, our continent, wherein our country is present. See the cute peninsula over here. This is our motherland, right? So our immediate neighbors are Europe and Africa. So Africa is often credited to be the cradle of human civilization. That means it is believed that the human beings started in the deep regions present on African lands, and the two twin countries here, North America and South America. So you can see the smallest continent here, Australia, but it has been recently named as Oceania along with its surrounding small islands together. So the seventh continent is Antarctica, which is the icy continent. So this is lithosphere, the large masses of lands separated by the oceans, the 7 continents in other way. Let's have a look at hydrosphere now. Hydros means water, as we have discussed already. You can see the large saline water bodies here, the largest being Pacific Ocean. See, it is spread to the other side of the globe too. Arctic Ocean, which is also called as Northern Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, which is surrounded the American region, Indian Ocean, which is named after our motherland, and Southern Ocean, which is also called as Antarctic Ocean. So these are the 5 main oceans, but hydrosphere does not conclude only with it is not constrained only for the oceans. All the fresh water sources like glaciers, rivers, lakes, streams, ponds, wells and even the groundwater that is present inside the rocks under the land also come under hydrosphere. So all the area wherever water is present comes under hydrosphere. So let's go to the next domain of the earth, that is atmosphere. You can see in the picture, atmosphere is actually a thick blanket of air that surrounds the whole of the earth. There are 5 main layers of the atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Troposphere being the first layer, lot of weather activities, climatic activities happen over here, and we can also see the aviation activity. That means planes, airplanes fly in this particular layer of the atmosphere. The second layer being stratosphere. There is very important point here to note that from sun's light we get different types of rays, out of which UV rays are one. There are some components in UV rays which can cause lot of harm to human beings. We are blessed with stratosphere which filters all those dangerous components and send the remaining, purified light rays to the earth. So stratosphere in that sense is very, very important. And third layer is mesosphere. This is the coldest layer of the atmosphere. The temperature is very low here. And thermosphere, this is the hottest. See the thing here, this is the coldest one and above that is the hottest one. There are ions present in thermosphere and as the name suggests, it is very, very hot. The final layer of the atmosphere is exosphere. Exosphere is like a border between the Earth's surrounding and the space. All the satellites are placed over here which help us in communication. So now you people are looking at television, right? So, or if you are looking at the mobile also, all these telecasts are being done with the help of satellites. So, this is the story of atmosphere. About biosphere, we shall discuss again in detail at the end. Now, the next subtopic is model of the earth. You all might have in your mind that we see maps. The representation of particular area on a flat surface is a map. But how do we represent the whole of the earth? The whole of the earth is represented in the form of a globe. Please look at the picture here. There are many vertical and horizontal lines placed on the globe, isn't it? But let me tell you, these are not actually present on the globe. These are drawn for our convenience to understand the locations very clearly, to make us clear about locations. I will tell you in detail. If I put a point somewhere here on this space and if I ask you to locate it, many of you would be saying, madam, it is upside, it is down, it is towards right, it is towards left and so on. But exact location cannot be explained. But if I keep a dot somewhere here, then it will be easy for you to locate, madam, it is in 5th block from up, 7th block from right or something like that, isn't it? So, this is the main purpose of drawing imaginary lines on the globe, because it helps us to locate various places. Now, let us look at the horizontal lines. These imaginary horizontal lines are called latitudes. The word is again derived from Greek. The word latitude means length in Greek. So, the main latitude, the central latitude is named as equator. Please look at the picture here. This equator divides the whole of earth into two equal halves, and so the name equator. It is denoted as 0 degree latitude. From here towards north and towards south, many latitudes are drawn, but for the convenience of the study, we name few important latitudes here. So, the next important latitude in southern hemisphere is Tropic of Capricorn, and towards north in northern hemisphere, the next important latitude is Tropic of Cancer. Both are denoted by 23.5 degree, but N for Tropic of Cancer because it is in northern hemisphere, and S for Tropic of Capricorn because it is in southern hemisphere. So, the region around the equator, that means the region between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, which is colored with green here, is named as torrid zone. I will tell you why. Let us first finish the other important latitudes. So, the next important latitude in northern zone is Arctic Circle, which is denoted as 66.5 degree, and towards south the next important latitude is Antarctic Circle, which is again denoted as 66.5. So, as for the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, these are also named as per their hemispheres. Arctic Circle as 66.5 degree north and Antarctic Circle as 66.5 degree south. So, the region between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle and Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle, which are colored here, are called as temperate zones. So, temperate zones, and the region which is towards the poles, which is colored in blue in the picture, is named as freeze zone. Now, why these names for these zones? The reason is sun's rays will be falling straight onto the equatorial region, which makes the region very hot, and so the name torrid zone. It's the hottest zone. So, sun's rays will be falling in a slant manner in the temperate regions, and so they are named as temperate regions or temperate zones. So, as this is in north, they have given it as north temperate zone and south temperate zone in south. So, the freeze zone, the zone near the poles hardly get any sun's rays, and so it's very cool there, most of the times very icy. So, the zone is named as freeze zone. Hope it's clear. Let's move on to longitudes. See, longitudes of the earth. See, this name is also derived from Greek language. The meaning of longitude means is width. You can see the red line drawn here at the center. This is the central longitude. So, this central longitude is located in Greenwich region, and so it is also called Greenwich mean longitude. Now, you can see the wide strips over here. As you all know, the earth rotates and it is 360 degrees is one complete rotation. So, for every 15 degree there is a time zone. Let me tell you why time zones are decided. Suppose a flight starts from India and it lands somewhere in America. So, with which time should people understand its departure or arrival? This is a matter of confusion, right? So, to avoid this confusion, scientists have decided that they should have some international standard time. Greenwich mean time is considered so. So, here this red line stands for international date line, and also called the central longitude or Greenwich mean time. So, all the countries calculate their time compared to this central longitude. So, you can count here from the picture that it is 5.5 hours ahead. Our Indian time is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich mean time. You can calculate the time of any country on the map if you know its longitude and latitude. So, such is the help of longitude, such is the use of longitudes. So, I repeat, the structure which forms along with the longitudes, the vertical lines, and latitudes, the horizontal lines, help us to locate various regions on the earth. Now, coming to the next subtopic, moments of the earth. You all might remember that earth has two moments, right? Earth moves around on its own axis, which causes days and nights. Look at the picture. The half that faces the sun has day, and the other half which does not faces the sun has night. You can also make it out from the picture that the earth rotates towards east, that means anti-clockwise. One more important thing to note here is its axis is a bit tilted, right? We shall discuss about it again. So, the first moment is earth's rotation, and to complete one rotation it takes 24 hours, out of which half is day and nearly half is night. The next movement made by the earth is a revolution. That means the earth revolves round the sun in a particular elliptical orbit. Look at the shape of the orbit here. So, you can see that the distance from the sun is different in different locations, in different situations. So, these are the reasons, and one more thing, it is tilted here, which causes differences, variations in the lengths of days and nights. See, solstice is the word which describes the distance between the sun and the earth. So, for northern hemisphere, 22nd December is winter solstice. That means it has the shortest night, and the longest day for northern hemisphere is on 21st June. Recently it has been decided to celebrate that day as International Yoga Day. The whole world recognizes that meditation or yoga has a lot of benefit for mankind. So, it is a matter of pride for all of us that we belong to a country which is teaching all the world something important, right? So, one more phenomena that is very interesting regarding revolution is equinox. As the word suggests, that is the day where the lengths of day and night are exactly equal. You want to know when it happens? Right. It happens twice in a year. On 21st March, we call it spring equinox, and 22nd September, we call it autumn equinox. So, equinoxes and solstices are the two interesting phenomena that take place during Earth's revolution. So, to complete one revolution, as you all know, it takes 365 1/4 days. This 1/4 is totaled once in 4 years, and the extra day, the year with extra day, we call it leap year. So, we have to understand why the lengths of days and nights vary. So, as we were discussing about revolution, you can see here Earth's axis is not exactly perpendicular to the orbital plane. It is tilted by 23.5 degree, making the angle 66.5 with its orbital plane. So, this tilt is responsible for the variation in the lengths of days and nights. So, the days and nights are different in different seasons, different in different hemispheres. Let's move on to the next topic, solar system. So, some children may get a question in their mind, is the Earth only planet to revolve around the sun? No, you can see from the picture there are many planets that revolve around the sun. From the distance, increasing distance from the sun, they can be named as Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Mercury being the hottest planet as it is the most nearer to the sun. So, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars are the 4 planets which are made of metal and rock. Jupiter and Saturn, the biggest planets, are made of hydrogen and helium. Uranus and Neptune, these are the 2 planets which are made of volatile substances like ammonia and methane. So, some children might be getting in their mind a question, does life exist only on Earth? So, this is a question what scientists have been trying very seriously to answer. Earlier scientists believed that life did not exist on other planets, but now they feel that certainly life must be existing on other planets. So, till something is discovered, we are all free to imagine aliens with our creativity and weave stories on them. Very interesting, right? Now, let's move on to the next subtopic, why does life exist only on the Earth? So, this question is again put to explain the situations which make life possible on the Earth. First point you can see here is it's neither too hot nor too cold. So, as we were discussing the locations of the other planets, Mercury and Venus are much nearer to the sun and they are definitely hotter. Uranus and Neptune are much farther from the sun and sunlight hardly reaches there. So, it's both the planets are very cool and dark. So, Earth is blessed to be in a location where it's neither too hot nor too cold. Another important reason is atmosphere, the layer about which we have already discussed, the blanket of air that surrounds the Earth. The stratosphere filters the dangerous components of the UV rays, which is the one important reason which made life possible on the Earth. And the second point is atmosphere provides ambient temperature. It makes the temperature convenient for life to exist. Let us know some more things about the Earth. So, Earth's diameter is around 6,371 kilometer and Moon is its natural satellite. So, what do I mean by satellite? Something that revolves around a planet or that around a planet is called satellite. So, Earth has a natural satellite which revolves around it. So, Earth is nearly 3,84,400 kilometer far from Moon. And how far is it from Sun? It is 150.15 million kilometer far from Sun. During summer season, we feel Earth is right above our head, but actually the distance is 150.15 million kilometer. So, imagine if the distance was less, how would it be? Life would not be possible on the Earth, right? So, the next subtopic is shape of the Earth. If you look at the picture, you feel the Earth is spherical, but it's not truly. This shape is called geoid. The word that is derived from again Latin Geo meaning earth. So why am I telling that it's not spherical? It resembles a sphere, but it is pressed from top a bit and bottom a bit. So to explain again, it is compressed from top and bottom and it is spherical. So this shape is called geoid, particular shape of the earth. You may feel it new, but you might have definitely heard some words which start with geo. Let's recall them once. Words that start with geo: geology, study of the earth; geography, description of the earth; geothermal energy, thermal energy which is generated and stored inside the earth. So geometry, measuring the earth or area of the earth. It's a branch of mathematics. You all might have been come across it. And geocentric theory, the theory which proposes that earth is at the center of the solar system. Surprised? But it's true. For a long time people believed that earth was at the center of the solar system. This was proposed by Ptolemy and this theory was named as geocentric theory. So people believed it because they never felt that earth moved. If earth moves, they should feel the moment, right? That's why they were thinking that earth was not at all moving and it is located at the center of the solar system. But after a long time, Aristarchus of Samos proposed a theory that sun is at the center of the solar system, and Nicholas Copernicus proved the theory, made a model to prove that sun is at the center of the solar system. So these are the words which start with geo. Our next subtopic is layers inside the earth. So as I promised you, let us now know what is inside the earth. So if we open and cut like an apple, all the inside layers look like this. There are 3 layers, but the third layer is again categorized into 2, outer and inner. So finally there are 4 layers inside the earth: crust, mantle, outer core and inner core. Crust, as the name suggests, it is the outer layer, and mantle, as the name suggests, literally it means something that binds. So it is binding the core and crust. So mantle, name is absolute for it, and core literally means the center, something at the center. So these are the names of the layers inside the earth. Let us look at detail of each layer. On the crust, we have continental surface and oceanic surface. In the oceanic surface, the depth is around 5 km and the minerals present are silicon and magnesium. We can remember them as SEMA. And on continental surface, the depth of the crust is around 35 km and the minerals present are silicon and aluminium. You can remember them as Cl. One more important thing to mention about crust is to understand how the crust looks like. We can compare the shape of the earth with an egg. If this is compared to an egg, the crust can be compared to the shell of the egg because of 2 reasons. One reason, it is outside the outside layer of the earth, and second reason, it is as thin as the shell of the egg. So coming to mantle now. So mantle is the second layer which extends up to 2900 km from the crust. There are many minerals present inside the mantle. So dominantly there are silicates, but other minerals like iron, aluminium, calcium, sodium and potassium are also present inside the mantle. So there are number of interesting activities taking place inside the mantle. Few of them are plate tectonics, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. See the surprise thing here, something happens in mantle is shown, it is displayed on the crust of the earth. For example, plate tectonics. There are compressional forces acting on the plates of the rocks. So this creates different landforms on the crust of the earth. Volcanic eruption. So the magma is burning inside the mountain in the layer of the mantle, but once it erodes, once it erupts, so you can see the rocks forming on the crust. And earthquakes. If the compressional forces are sudden and they are heavy, then they may lead to quake, break of the earth, which we refer to as earthquake. So here the hypocenter, the main center where the pressure is striking is inside the mantle, but top above the hypocenter there is epicenter, the center from where the earth quakes, that means cracks. So likewise all the activities happen inside the mantle and their result is seen over the crust. Now going to the third layer, it is outer core, and it is 2200 kilometer from the mantle. The main minerals present inside these are nickel and iron. You can remember it as knife, as Fe stands for ferrum iron. So the fourth one is inner core, which mainly consists of iron. So scientists did not understand a point earlier, that if it consists completely of iron, why is this inner core not heavy? So after a lot of research, they got an answer that sulfur is also present in considerable amounts inside the inner core, because of which it is not very heavy. So now we conclude that there are two important elements present in the inner core, and they are iron and sulfur. So inner core extends to 1220 kilometer from the outer core. So this is the complete picture of the layers inside the earth. Now, as we were discussing about volcanic eruption and formation of different landforms, the ecological cycle that is hidden behind that is rock cycle. So let's see how it happens. So if we start from a volcanic eruption, see the magma which is burning inside the mountain erupts, lava flows, gets cooled down, and after a long period of time it gets totally cooled down and forms igneous rock. So the igneous rock by and by is broken because of weathering, deposition and many other processes. It is broken down into small rock particles called sediments. So over a long period of time, again all these sediments are put together, they form a strong layered rock which is called sedimentary rock. And sedimentary rock, after again taking long period of time, when they are exposed to various temperatures and pressures, it changes its size, shape and everything, and it is called as metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock, after a long time, again when it is put to a lot of pressure and temperature, changes its shape and its form and becomes magma again, which is again ready to flow, erupt from a volcano. So this is the complete rock cycle. You might have heard earlier about water cycle, but formation of rocks is also one of the most important ecological cycles. So the small stone which we see in the park or outside of the road was once a part of a big mountain maybe, and in future this same small rock may become again a part of large mountain. Such is the story of rocks. The next subtopic is evolution of the earth. How did this earth begin? Is a very interesting thing to investigate. This story began 4.5 billion years ago. So as all other planets formed, earth is also formed. Actually, scientists for a long period of time did not understand how these things happened. That means the universe has started from a single point. So this is suggested by Big Bang theory. How did that single point expand and expand and expand, and how did stars form, how did planets form? All this is, of course, it's until date it is just an imagination, but still scientists believe that Big Bang theory is the story behind the formation of universe, and all the planets formed from the swirling dust and clouds which came out of the Big Bang. So earth also formed in the same way. The ball of swirling dust and clouds, when they were put to high pressure, were in molten stage and it was very hot, and they were constantly bombarded by massive rocks and other materials. So it was boiling for a long period of time, and if we boil a soup, imagine if we boil a soup with different types of materials, all the thicker substances go inside and all the lighter particles come up. So in the same way, all the heavy things, heavier metals went inside the earth's layers, and all the lighter particles came up, and outer crust formed, wrinkled, buckled, and different landforms formed, and nearly for 2.5 billion years ago there was no life on the earth, and neither life supporting gases. So slowly and gradually life supporting gases started, and life first appeared in oceans, and then life appeared on land. It is very interesting to know the journey from single celled organism to the most complex organ systems of mammals like us, particularly the nervous system of human beings. So still this supercomputer, our brain is an unsolved puzzle for scientists. Many things are yet being researched to understand the clear phenomena behind it. So, such is the journey of the earth. Hope you have enjoyed it. Now coming to the other phenomena, radiation and insolation. So, as you can see, radiation word stands for transfer of energy from one source to the other, particularly when they are not in contact. So, you can see the sun is the ultimate source of energy, and when sun's energy reaches the earth, so getting filtered in the atmosphere into the clouds and trapped by the atmospheric layers, different only 51% of the sun's energy comes and reaches the earth, and it is absorbed by it, and this energy, this solar energy absorbed by the earth is named as insolation. So, is all the energy tapped and stored inside the earth? No, earth is also a source of radiation. You can see in red color the energy being radiated again to the space. So, meanwhile, much of the energy is absorbed by atmosphere, and nearly half of it, if this 51% is considered to be 100 units, around 64 units are sent back into the space. So, earth is also a source of radiation. This is the important point which we all need to know. So, when we talk about radiation, it is necessary to mention again here that dangerous components of this radiation, particularly of UV rays, are filtered by the stratospheric layer of the atmosphere. Now, angle of incidence. Though when the sun's light is reaching the earth, reaching the surface of the earth, what happens? So, this is something very important to understand. If this is the surface of the earth and this is the incident ray, the light ray which is coming from the sun, then a perpendicular line if drawn from the surface of the earth, this is the angle that forms between the incident ray and that perpendicular line, and this angle is known as angle of incidence. So, why do we need this angle of incidence? This is necessary to understand how the heat is absorbed by the earth. Angle of incidence is inversely proportional to the heat of the amount of the heat received by the earth. That means on equator it is almost all 0, and so the sun's energy received around the equator is more, and at poles it is nearly 90 degree, that means very high, and that is the reason the solar energy received by the poles is very less. So, the same theory was expressed in words when we were discussing about latitudes, and here it is expressed a bit scientifically why the sun's heat is not uniform all over the earth. The next important subtopic is global warming. Many times we hear complaints from our elderly people that these days rains are inappropriate, seasons are not occurring properly, it is getting too hot, and many other such complaints. There are complaints everywhere. So, why all this happen? Why do all this happen? The reason, the answer behind all this, the answer for all these questions is global warming. So, let us now once look at the various issues that are resulting because of global warming. So, the rain and snow patterns are continuously changing. So, that means the same point we were discussing already, that rains are inappropriate. When rains are needed, we do not see rains, and when rains are not needed, when the crop is ready, we face rains. So, this is something really very pathetic to know. And the stronger storms, often during this season when mangoes are ready for harvest, sometimes we see there are stronger storms and all the mango crop is destroyed, and the corals are damaged. Inside the sea there are beautiful landforms, as we were discussing on the surface of the earth, right? Even inside the ocean there are beautiful landforms like cliffs, ridges, and many more. So, near these corals there are calcium carbonate forms always being formed there. So, all those things are disturbed because of this warming, and the sea level is rising, and the temperatures are very high, getting very high, and the heat waves are getting too hot heat waves, which is destroying, which is causing danger to many forms of life, and even animal migration cycles and life cycles are also disturbed a lot. There are droughts, there are wildfires, and the oceans are getting warmer, and the permafrost, which is in icy regions, is getting thawed, and this ice is getting, polar ice is getting melted, ice caps are getting melted, and there are many changes in plant life cycles too. So many disturbances, so many problems are all because of global warming. Now the ultimate question is, why is global warming happening? What makes it happen so? And the only reason for this is mankind, we people. So let us know how it happens and why it happens. Global warming actually means the increase in the normal temperature of the atmosphere on the earth's surface. And why this happens? See, nature has a beautiful way of balancing the things. Mankind, people, we take in oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide. Plants during daytime take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So this is something that the nature has planned for all of us. But what are we doing? We are continuously cutting the plants, isn't it? So here the exponential increase of human population and excessive cutting of the trees, both are disturbing the balance in a magnanimous way. And even not just this, addition to this, we are releasing dangerous gases continuously in an enormous manner into the atmosphere. Like we release carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, and many other dangerous gases from automobiles and industries, and methane from biogas, and chlorofluorocarbons from refrigerators and air conditioners that we use. So all these dangerous causes, dangerous gases that are released into the atmosphere are destroying the ecological balances, particularly chlorofluorocarbons, which are released from air conditioners, and these disturb the layers of the atmosphere. The ozone layer is getting depleted because of these chlorofluorocarbons. So can we stop global warming? Yes, we can stop. How? Let's try to minimize leaving such dangerous gases into the atmosphere. Now as the lockdown is going on everywhere, the environmentalists are a bit happy. That means the other side of the coin, you can see the pollution is reduced everywhere. The interesting news is printed in newspaper, you can go through them, that this warming has been reduced and pollution has been reduced everywhere. You can see good things. So this global, we can all definitely contribute from our side to reduce global warming. So some may have in their mind a question that how would it be beneficial if I alone do something good? But let me tell you one quote from Mother Teresa. She was asked the same way by Khushwant Singh in an interview. He asked her, what difference does it make if you alone do something good? Then what did she say, you know? She said that whatever I am doing might be a drop in the ocean, but if this drop is not there in the ocean would be less because of this missing drop. Something minus is minus, right? Whether it is 0.0.0.0.1, isn't it? So let's all do something, contribute from our sides to reduce global warming. Let us minimize the usage of personal vehicles, let us use more public vehicles, let us use air conditioners and refrigerators in a proper way, and all what is possible from our side. Let's move on to the next subtopic, that is continental drift theory. So what is this theory? As we were discussing about the story of evolution of the earth, were the continents and oceans same as we look at them today? No, they were different when the earth formed initially. So this is a theory which explains how these 7 continents formed. The theory is proposed by a German meteorologist and geophysicist named Alfred Wegener. So according to him, the whole land was looking as one piece, as you can see in the picture here, Pangaea. He named this massive supercontinent Pangaea, which stands for Greek in Greek whole world. So the massive supercontinent was looking something like this, as mentioned in the picture, and gradually it has broken into 2 big lands. One is Laurasia and another is Gondwana. So in the present world map, whatever we see in the northern hemisphere has been separated and joined this Laurasia during that period, and most of the southern regions joined this Gondwana land. And even you can see only one sea, ocean was mentioned here, Panther Sea, and gradually it has been divided into two here in the second picture, that is Tethys Sea and Panther Ocean. So, Gondwana land consists of all these southern regions. So, this is the theory which explains the formation of continents, and this was the single massive supercontinent as proposed by Wegener 220 million years ago. Isn't it interesting? Yes. So, we now we say that India is motherland, Asia is our country, but once we all belong to the single super massive continent. Isn't it interesting to imagine? Let's move on to the other topic, that is plates of the earth. So, whether it is land or it is ocean, whatever is on the crust of the earth is actually located on various plates as per the geologists. So, all these plates are floating on the mantle. Please try to recollect the picture which showed the four internal layers of the earth mantle, which was in orange thick color. So, that is in a fluid state. So, over that mantle all these plates are distributed, placed in a different manner. So, these plates keep on moving because of the pressure from mantle, and these dynamics that happen between these plates is named as plate tectonics. And one interesting phenomenon in plate tectonics is the sea floor spreading. See, if volcano erupts in mantle, we have seen that it the effect of it is seen on the crest, but sometimes the newer crest forms and it makes the sea floor spreading, it comes up and widens the sea floor. So, this phenomena is known as sea floor spreading, and all the activities which were discussed near the mantle, whether it be volcanic activity or seismic activity, that means earthquake or formation of this spreading of this sea floor. So, all these happen between the this is a game between the plates of the earth. So, geologists believe there are major plates like North American plate, South American plate, Indo-Australian plate, Antarctic plate and Pacific plates. These are the major ones, and there are many minor ones, out of which Nazca plate and Arabian plate are important. So, why does the landforms keep on changing? As we were discussing in rock cycle, I told you the small stone which looks stone now can be a part of mountain later. So, there is continuous transformation on the surface of the earth. So, what are the processes that facilitate it? The main four processes that facilitate the continuous transformation are weathering, erosion, transport and deposition. Weathering simply means breaking down of rocks. So, the rocks break down because of atmospheric heat or pressure or movement, and these rocks travel to long distances. They are eroded, that way they are weared away from a particular region, from a particular place. So, this wearing away is known as erosion, and they are carried up to long distances, sometimes miles together, and this carrying away is known as transportation. And the fourth one is deposition, when they are carried away to long distances, when the energy once is dropped, where there is no more energy by these denuding things like waves. It can be waves, it can be river water, it can be wind or whatever it is, the agents which cause all these processes. If the energy is lost, they deposit the things there, sand, silt and rock material, whatnot. So, because of this weathering, breaking away of rocks, erosion, wearing away of that solid material, silt, sand and everything, and transportation, carrying away for long distances, and deposition, placing them in various regions. So, these are the four things which cause continuous transformation on the surface of the earth. Now, the last but most important point is vegetation and wildlife. This is what biosphere we were discussing in the starting. So, it is quite interesting to know that there are around 391,000 species of flora on the surface of the earth, whether it is inside the oceans or on the land, and fauna is around 1.2 million species, lot of diversity present on the earth. Coming to plants or trees, see what they give us, everything, what not. They prevent soil erosion, they protect the groundwater, they cause rainfall, they transpire water vapor and maintain good temperature in the atmosphere, they give us flowers, fruits, vegetables, medicines, herbs and timber and so many other things, and they mainly purify the air Many times that's why they are called as lungs of the earth. So trees are giving so many things to us, but what is mankind doing? Going on cutting the trees. It is something like cutting the branch of a tree on which we are sitting, and along with us many more are sitting. So it's really very dangerous to continuously cut down the trees, that is deforestation what we call it. So this is the results of which are everywhere alarming us, right? The increase in temperature, as we were discussing about global warming, so that and disturbance in the occurrence of seasons are all the alarms that are ringing around, because as we are disturbing the ecological cycle. So it's really everyone's responsibility to plant more number of trees and make this earth look greener and greener. Coming to animals, it's really shame on our part to mention that around 247 species of animals got extinct in this recent decade, that means a period of 10 years, and around 2,464 species are at the verge of extinction, are at the danger of extinction. Of course, governments are doing a lot. They are establishing botanical gardens for flora and national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biodiversity hotspots they are designing, and so many things they are doing for protecting animals. But we should think something about it, isn't it? See, we always learn from the books, cow gives us milk, sheep gives us wool, but what are we giving them? They are the living creatures which are living along with us on the earth, and they have every right to claim the region of the earth, a pure air, maybe pure water. So we don't have any right to pollute everything and let them get extinct. So it's really everybody, our thought process should change, our attitude should change towards the plants and animals, and it is really only then the earth becomes a harmonious place for all the plants, animals, and also for human beings to live in. So with this I just conclude. I hope all the points are covered, and now it's your time. Please note down the questions of Eureka, as these are the projects you have to do. The first one being, prepare a project on domains of the earth. I repeat, prepare a project on domains of the earth. You can make the project as wide as possible. You can use the points from the lesson taught just now, from the topic, or you may use outer information from outer sources also. The second question, write a detailed note on plate tectonics and continuous transformation of the earth's surface. Write a detailed note on plate tectonics and continuous transformation of the earth's surface. Hope you have enjoyed the session. I thank TSAT people for patiently recording this program. I also thank Telangana state government for giving us this opportunity. I thank our societies, Telangana Tribal Welfare Residential Educational Institutions and Telangana Social Welfare Residential Educational Institutions, for giving me such a valuable opportunity of being with you all. Thank you everybody.